A400M. And it's going to be hitting airborne impressively very short. A maximum performance takeoff tactical departure with a turn away from you. It's possible for one of these big aircraft to get airborne under 1,000 metres. Accelerating about another 30 knots beyond the usual rotate speed in order to facilitate that high departure. A tactical demonstration nevertheless. This is something that is conducted on ops when in contested areas, so it minimises the amount of time the aircraft is at risk of ground fire. The A400M has replaced all sorts of components and all sorts of services. It's taken over from and the first one of these aircraft for the German Air Arm was handed over towards the end of 2014. It was possible to completely retire the Transat by the end of 2021, and the Luftwaffe's airlift capabilities are now being augmented beyond the fleet of A400Ms by the Binational Air Transport Squadron of C-130J Hercules, operating in conjunction with the French Air and Space Force from Evreux in France. One of those is on static display at the altitude for the first time this weekend. Undercarriage is down now. 14 wheels and tyres designed to operate from unprepared surfaces at high weights. Ability to carry a 30-ton payload over 2,500 nautical miles to both established, remote, civilian and military airfields, and as better said, by landing on short and unprepared or semi-prepared strips. The aircraft is capable also of operating at high level at altitudes of 40,000 feet, which fully underpins its enormous range. The A400M can carry 116 passengers, or 9 aircraft pallets and 54 passengers, or 66 stretchers, with a maximum payload of 37 tons. It's also a very manoeuvrable aircraft, which it has to be to operate in the sort of contested environment Mark mentioned earlier, where small arms fire could be a threat. The A400M has a maximum bank angle of 120 degrees, which we've seen demonstrated here by Airbus test pilots in the past. We won't see anything quite like that from this aircraft. 60-degree bank to turn there. And next, the aircraft will be set up for a running simulated, a visual check of a simulated air drop zone. The A400M has a lot of other tasks apart from transport and air dropping. For example, Germany was the first user of this aircraft to declare it operational as an air-to-air refueling tanker, and it began using that capability to support Luftwaffe sorties against Daesh basing out of Jordan. More recently, these aircraft have been refueling multinational assets on patrols relating to the enhanced air policing missions NATO's been mounting since the start of the Ukraine conflict. It can carry much heavier loads than
the C-130, and like both other types, use rough landing strips. In addition to its transport capability, it can perform airframe refueling with bent stand, but we are also trying to modulise it now for preventive evacuation by fitting the appropriate equipment. And it's just recently that's been in addition to the RIAT service system.
And some of the customers may already be using this, but they have been looking at this aircraft and evaluating it as an aerial firefighting mobile equipment able to drop 20 tons of water in less than 10 seconds. It's been tested in Spain and France. And looking ahead, Airbus sees other roles as an airport communications hub, distributing information to other air and ground systems, even for a drone on the ship or as a standoff jammer. Now the aircraft being brought back in simulated drop condition. So the rear is open. I seem to remember that the RAF Cosford Air Show last year, all the RAF Antlers fleet dropped the RAF Falcons team in public for the first time.
That's absolutely correct, yes.
And this is where we're going to see a little bit more of that manoeuvrability in evidence.
As Ben said earlier, quite an important thing tactically for an aircraft of this size to be manoeuvrable, not just against ground-to-air fire, but also the air-to-air threat. Celebrating now for what they term as the zoo. The aircraft is configured to perhaps take off from the go-around performance of the engines. Reversing through 45 back down to the A-axis. Continuing to accelerate with flaps up. The aircraft preparing to go from about 300 feet to 2,000 feet in approximately 6 seconds.
I was talking earlier about the taking role these aircraft can perform, and only this February, one of these German aircraft operators carried out its first air refueling of RIAT equipment on Shader in the Middle East, and the equivalent now uses them as a sort of 3-point tankers with 3 air refueling points, a hose drop unit mounted on the loading ramp, as well as the 2 underwing pods. Now, with the aircraft in for a short landing. There's the A400M backtracks, the two Czech Air Force W3 soccer.